So let's create a document that has multiple tables and multiple sheets. And it's going to do something very simple. It's just going to help if you have a family with kids and you want to get them to do their chores. This will help organize that. So let's start off here with the first table. We'll use the default one here, and we'll have the header column be chores, and we'll assign points to each chore. And that's all this will do. So we'll shrink the table down like that. We'll call this chore points. And let's add some chores. So we could say empty the dishwasher, take out the trash, get the mail, clean the litter box, and clean your room. And let's assign points for each of these. And then we'll shrink the number of rows so we're down to the basic table here. Now we'll create another table, and this is where they'll record their chores when they've done them. So we'll use this style table here with just a header row but no header column. There's going to be chore, where they'll enter the name of the chore that they just did, and points assigned, but they're only going to enter the chore they did. So for instance, let's say they take out the trash. What we'll do here for points is we'll use lookup to get that. So we'll do equals for formula, lookup, and we'll look up this value, comma, in this column here, and we'll get the points from this column. And now we can see trash has automatically been assigned 5. It comes from here. So if they enter in another one, say litter box, then if this formula is pasted in here, it's automatically there. We can shrink this table down now, and it should automatically fill the formula in. So I can hit return. You can see it gives me an error there because there's no value here. There's nothing to match. So if they just enter clean room, automatically it fills in 30 because that formula is there. The formula is in each one of these. Let's call this table chores, and we'll shrink it here so it just says these two. What would be nice is if there was a running total so they could see how many points they had. So we'll go here and we'll add a footer row below, and we'll do equals sum of this whole column. Now you can see that there. So enter a new item, mail, and automatically it fills in the 2 from that formula, and then this gets updated. Now let's say they're building up to something. That's the whole point of getting these points here. So let's create another table that's going to have a list of prizes that could be awarded based on how many points they've got. So I'll create a new table. This time it will have a header column. You can see one of the differences between having a header column and not is these are all unique things. This is a value here, dishwasher equals 10. In this case, that's not a unique thing. Trash you would expect to appear multiple times here, and litter box and all that. They continue to use the same one. So these are records with unique that aren't unique. And this is basically a lookup table. So this is a unique ID, and this is the value. Same kind of thing here. We're going to have a table called prizes, and it's going to be prize, and then the points it takes to earn that prize. So maybe they get candy, 10 points, they can cash in. Cookie, 25 points. Of course, what the kids really want, 75 points. Or maybe this, 400 points. And then some big unobtainable prize. There. So these are the prizes they can get. So let's move this table up here, and we can see everything. And let's do a lookup on this table of what prize they can currently get with the number of points they have. So I'm going to create a table here that's a single cell table. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to collapse it to 1 by 1 and move it here. And this is going to do a lookup. And the value it's going to use is this one here, the one at the bottom. And I want to make sure it's not going to preserve the row because I want it to expand as more rows are added. And we'll test that out in a bit. So I want it to take that. There it is. I want it to take that, and I'm going to look that up in B. So look up the number of points there in B. And the great thing about lookup is it'll go and say, is 57 match 10? No. Does it match 25? No. But it doesn't match 75. So the one that it's closest to without going over is 25. So it'll give us that result. And the result it'll give will be from column A. So it will look up 57 and find out the result is in this one. It's cookie. So let's test to make sure that if I were to add another column here, that it works. So, okay, let's add the clean room again. And it puts 30 in place there. And by putting 30 in place, it moves the bottom row, the footer row, to B7. And if we look here, sure enough, it's B7. So we were right in turning off the preserve row there to make sure that it now goes to this cell, even though the cell is moving down. And now that it's 87 points, they have earned a treat from Starbucks. So let's call this prize with an exclamation point. We can select this entire thing here and just make it a little bit bigger. Maybe even change the text to make it centered and bold and in the middle, and increase the points a bit. I could even make it match the width of this so it fits in nicely. So now they could see the prize pretty clearly as they add things. Now let's add another table, because what's going to happen is they're going to cash in some of these points. So they've earned Starbucks, they go to Starbucks, and that's going to subtract 75 points. So we'll create another table here, and this one will tabulate all the prizes they've won in the past. So we'll do that kind of table, and we'll do which prize that they've won, and it'll look up the points. So let's say, for instance, they actually went for a cookie first. Okay, so to get the value there, the number of points the cookie is worth, we'll do lookup and that cookie, and we'll look it up under prizes, under A, column A, and then the value in B. So now the cookie is worth 25 there. And what we'll do is we'll have a total here. So we'll shrink this, but then we'll go to add a footer row below. So let's add a row below, and then I'll change it here under table to make that a footer row, because it didn't give us the option there to add a footer row. So this will be the sum of everything so far, 25 in this case. And this will be called past prizes. So we can keep adding to this as they do things. Now, they've cashed in some points, so we want to make sure that the prize that's due them is the total here. So you can see here the total that they've earned is blue, and it's right there. But what we want to do now is we want to subtract the total that they've cashed in. So we'll do a minus this one. And we also want to make sure that we're not preserving the row. So this is going to travel down as they cash in more prizes. And we now see, oh, they only earned enough for a cookie because they've cashed in 25 points. So as they cash in more, okay, let's say they get another cookie. And we want to make sure we copy. We paste this in here. So now from now on it will flow through. But now that we've done 2 of them. So they cashed in 225 points there. They still can get another cookie. So we'll do that. Cookie. And now they've cashed that in. So they've earned 87 points. They've cashed in 75 points. And we can tell they have 12 points left, which is only enough for candy. What would be nice to do is show them how many points they've got. So we've got this table here, but let's create another one. I'll actually duplicate this because I want to keep the size and the font and all that. So I'm going to Option Drag. Click an Option Drag and it creates a duplicate of this. Right, so we'll call this one points. And in here we'll simply create a new formula to replace this one. That's their total points earned, and we'll turn off preserve row, minus this one, and we'll turn off preserve row. And now we see there's 12 points left. So let's see it in action here. If they were to do the dishwasher, it adds 10 points, 97 total earned, minus 75 is 22. Let's say they take out the trash and adds another 5, 102 earned, 75 still spent, 27 points now available, and the prize that they're eligible for is a cookie if they want it. Now let's use multiple sheets to make this look better and make more sense. So let's create another sheet here, and I'm going to get rid of the default table. Go back to this one, and I'm going to select points, and I'm going to shift and click and select the prize, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to do edit, cut. I'm going to go to sheet 2, and I'm going to go to edit, paste, and put these in here, and maybe put these right there at the top. I'm also going to go and take the chores that they've done here, and I'm going to cut. I'm just going to do Command X and go over here. Notice the formula is broken because that table is now missing. But as soon as I paste it in, it fixes itself. So the table's back. So this is basically the kids' view. The kids see how many points they've collected, what their potential prize is, and they can continue to add these, add chores as they do them. Now in addition to that, maybe the past prizes, that also goes on a separate sheet. So I'll do Command X to cut. I'll add a new sheet here. Let's get rid of this, and I'll paste this in. So there's past prizes. So this is maybe for you as the adult to enter in as they cash things in. And then this is kind of the settings here. The what everything is worth, and the prizes are they're set. So you can call the sheet settings. You can call this sheet cashed in or something like that, and this sheet is the main one or something. And you could even resort these, so you have this one as the main one, and then you can go over here. You can change some things. You can set this to be locked, so I can go to, let's see, it's under arrange, lock, so lock that, so can't change what's in there. You might want to do the same thing for settings. You can lock those if you want. The kids can go and enter in more things. Clean room. It adds it in, adds the points in. You could also, of course, change these to a pop-up format. It's a pop-up menu, and it takes all the existing ones, puts them in there. If there's one that's not listed there, then you may want to go ahead and add it. So you can add a new one. So if you added something new here, you're going to want to make sure you go in here and add it to this. I could add it to the last one. Let's say if I go to settings here and I add another chore. So let's say dust is 2 points. I could go back here to main, select this one, add dust to it. Notice if I were to select all of these, I can say merge. So now they all have dust in them. And as you add a new row, there, now I can select from this drop down list dust, and it changes the points, changes that number, and it would change that if they would get enough points to go to the next one.